Jansen Harris here with Sean Fowler. We're going to discuss Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is he a top 20 player of all time? 26 years old, 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year award. We're presented by Your Future Media. For all media purposes, visit Your Future Media and Ya Socks. Sean, what's up, man?
How you doing, Jansen? Good to see you.
I'm good, man. We do this all the time. Been supposed to talk about Giannis, but how do you feel about Giannis? Even at 26, just won a championship. Are you looking at him already, Sean, like a top 20 player?
You know what, Jansen? At first, initially, I was like, all right, he got one championship, 2 MVPs. Of course not. Like, he just won a championship. I understand. For the people that thought I was crazy first saying he wasn't a top 5 player, I believe I was right at that time, but he proved me wrong. And you know what, though, Jansen? Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, I think twice. So it seems like because he's so young, it's tough to put him in that top 20 player of all time. I think some people even say Dwayne Wade is, it's debatable if he's top 20 of all time. He's a 3-time champion. It's just things that I've heard, you know what I mean? So with Giannis, it's like, I want to see more. So, but at the same time, I can't it's kind of tough because for what his accolades already and what we expect him to do, God forbid he gets injured, yeah, he's a top 20 player, like, you know, as of right now, potentially. But, you know, I would have to make a list and have my guys out there, but I think Giannis I'll say he's a top 25 player. I don't know about top 20 yet, but an argument can be made he is top 20 of all time already. So
I think, Sean, after next year, I'll put him in my top 20 of all time, just accomplishing what he's able to accomplish. I love that 50 piece to end things in a finals. That's how you take control of a game. I love what they did against the Nets in Game 7. Kevin Durant gave his best performance, but you see Giannis coming back, doing what he had to do. Middleton doing what he had to do. Holiday doing what he had to do. Look, he took a shot at Kevin Durant and LeBron James when he said, I didn't need a former super team. And that's how we're going to look back at this.
Right.
He is so young.
He is.
The conversation a couple of years from now, Sean, if he gets another one, is he already a top 10 player of all time? Some people are trying to say, oh, look at Kevin Durant and what he was able to do. Look what Giannis is able to do, or who's the best player in the league. I think right now it's 1A, 1B with Giannis and Kevin Durant. We're looking at both of them and saying, who's the best player in the league? Who's the best player in the world? But back to answer the question, it's tough. People's lists are different. Some people probably don't have Steph Curry yet in their top 15, depending on who you ask. Maybe me or you. Right, but if you ask some guys in the 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe not, Sean. So it's hard to even say who's the best player in the league, which I'll give Giannis a little bit maybe edge over Kevin Durant. But for me, it's really a tie, depending on the day, how I feel. Right. But it's tough. Do you even view Giannis as the best player in the league right now?
I have him, you know what? I got him number 2. I still have him slightly behind Kevin Durant. I think Giannis, though, like you said, 50 points, 5 blocks in that Game 6 silly game in Milwaukee at home. But again, to have 5 blocks and 50 points, you're not scoring 50 points from the 3-point line. Like, I think he probably had 1 3 at the most, and 17 and 19, I believe, from the free throw line as well, which is an area we know he struggles at. For him to be clutch, I think that's clutch though. You know, because Giannis, I feel like their closer is Chris Middleton, but for Giannis to still get 50 points, not hit many threes, if one at all, be so efficient from the free throw line and be great defensively. I mean, how could you not? How could you not have him in your top 5 at least? Possibly, I have him number 2. I still have Kevin Durant number 1 barely, just because I feel like Kevin Durant. I feel like there's really no weakness on him. There's no weakness on his game. You know what I mean? Again, my thing on Giannis is like there's some weaknesses in his game I feel like other players don't have. But when you step up in the finals like that and you end up being a finals MVP, I got to give it to you. So for me right now, Jansen, I'm going to have Kevin Durant just slightly because I don't see too many weaknesses in his game. And they came from just an inch of beating Milwaukee in that Game 6. I think it was Game 6 at first, in that Game 6 against Milwaukee, when Kevin Durant hit that game-winning shot, but it was a game-tying shot, I should say. So I got Kevin Durant slightly, though.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because I wonder if Kevin Durant, if that was considered a 3 and they knocked out Milwaukee, if that Nets team without Kyrie Irving could have won that championship, or if Kyrie Irving would have even came back. So that's always an interesting thing. But here's something about Giannis that I like, man. It's him, it's Hakeem, it's Michael Jordan, with the only 3 players with an MVP, a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year award, and I was an MVP and an MVP, I think, yeah, or a Finals MVP and Defensive Player of the Year award, which is impressive. Kevin Durant's never won Defensive Player of the Year before. LeBron James has never won Defensive Player of the Year. So Giannis could say, hey, I won a championship like you guys. I haven't won multiple ones, which is going to be next on his list, but I've won championships. So I think Giannis, he's flexing a little bit. He's flexing. You see him kind of doing the thing with the free throw, alluding to what some people or some of the haters said, or even some of the stuff you were saying about him showing in the past he can't shoot, which there's still some truth to that, but he shocked me. I was off the see, I always jump off the bandwagon at the wrong time.
Right. No, I hear you, man. He showed up. 17, 19 free throws are showing up to me, and that's what he did. So hey, 50 points and 5 blocks, man. I got to give it to him. He's number 2 for me as of right now, but it's a toss-up, like you said.
Would you look at the Bucks as the favorites in the East next year to start the season out, or would you put the Nets above them? For
me, man, I always say, in order to be the champs, you got to be the champs. And the champs are still the Milwaukee Bucks. We understand that Kyrie Irving was out for the Brooklyn Nets pretty much most of the series, if not the whole series. James Harden was hurt for half that series, so we understand that if Kyrie was there, hey, if hypothetically maybe the Nets won that game, it came from an inch without Kyrie Irving. If you add another player, all-star like Kyrie Irving, to me, the top 15 player, then the Nets win. So I understand that, but at the same time, hey, you play who you play, and the Bucks, they still weren't a super team. James Harden, although if he was hobbled, he still was out there, right? He was still playing. If James Harden would have got 20 points, and James Harden, the Nets are still supposed to win, but James Harden didn't look good, and we understand James Harden, even if he's healthy, he hasn't always had the best history in the playoffs either. So for me, though, to answer your question, in the East, it's going to be a lot more talent in the East. We understand that Miami Heat added players to their added some really good players this offseason so far. PJ Tucker, some other guys as well on that team. And, but I still say the Milwaukee Bucks. I think if they're going to be behind anyone, I'm going to say it's the Nets. I still have them at least in the top 2 in the East. You got to give it to the champs, man. So
I agree 100% with you, Sean. I think we have to look at the Bucks as a legit favorite to come out of the East next year. The Nets have to get it together. I thought it was maybe not a joke, but I thought eventually that team would get healthy, and they didn't do that. So I'm 100% with you, Sean. The Bucks going into next year with Giannis's hunger, with him wanting to win a second championship, I feel like they are the favorites in the East. And so further notice, I'm 100% with you.